Okay, welcome back. So in previous videos or my previous live, I started coding this assignment. And now that I kind of feel like I have a completed assignment, like I checked all of the boxes, I'm just going to walk you through some of the principles that guided my decision-making process and then walk you through the steps of completion about how I approach an assignment, all right, in Java. Okay, so I'm just briefly go through it. We're gonna scroll down to the first task, and the first task is here. Prepare a plain text data file containing raw English text messages where there is one textual string per line. Assume the messages are in chronological order in the file. First message on the first line. And then they left a hint about what modules I will be working with. So I took this, never having used the API file class previous to the assignment. All right, so I went to W3 schools and just kind of quickly scrolled through how Java uses the file module and how to implement it, right? So quickly scroll. All right, in order to create a file object, all you would need to do is declare the type, name the variable, and then initialize the file class by calling file, quotation marks, or parentheses, and then pass a string into it that matches the file name that you're trying to process. Now, this is the cover of the entire code, right? So I'm gonna go to the very first thing I did, which was create a file handler class here that handle all of the processing of the file. I created the class file handler, and then I added a constructor that says when the file handler object is initialized, pass a string into the file handler. All right. And if you recall from here, in order to use the file class, you need to pass a string to it. Okay. So when the file handler is initialized, pass a string that matches the name of the file name that you want to operate on. All right, from there, I created a method called read, which creates a file class object. I assigned the variable open file, and then I initialized the file with file name. So this gets passed to this here. And then from there, I pause and see, okay, where do I go from here, right? So I go back, and then this is the first thing I see, scanner, stands out. So I know I'm going to be using some type of scanner object or scanner module. So I go here and look at it, all right? And it shows me some sample code about how it's used. Now, I'm still new to Java, so some of the syntax is a little bit confusing to me, like myreader.close. If you don't write this statement after you use the scanner object, you're going to get an error, right? So you have to put it in this try catch block. Now it scans the content. So scanner object variable contents equals new scanner at object open file, which is the file object that is passed a string of whatever file name you hand to it, right? All right. So within the scanner, it has a method that iterates over the contents of the file, meaning it goes line by line and reads the contents of it, right? And then from there, I added a while loop because the scanner has a method, has line. And by me assigning a variable with the scanner type, contents now also has a variable, has next line. All right. So while contents has next line, meaning that there's another line in the file, all right, this is what's inside the code block. All right. So from within the code block, string, which is the type, data equals context next line. So while there are lines in the file, each next line is stored as the data variable, right? So here I took the contents of the file, right? And then assign each message into a message type, which I created uh, separately. And I'll get into that a little later. But it's basically stores a message as a string, and then you're able to add the message to a database, right? Which you see here in storage.save data. All right. Storage is also a class that I created separately. And so these are automatically taking the contents of the message and then saving it into the storage, right? And then old messages, that's just a way to keep track of where the messages are when you want to go through and sort them based on a given topic, which is another step in the assignment, right? And then contents.close, and then when the error occurs, when a error happens, this is the message that will be printed along with get message method. All right. From there, all I would do is call the file handler message equals new file handler message data dot text, which is the text, raw text data that I created. It assigns it to a variable called messages, and then all I have to do is say messages dot read. And at the bottom here, all I have to do is say get messages. And then it does everything in the file handler module for me. I implemented the single responsibility principle by breaking down each part of the assignment into its own class. And I'm going to give you an example, right? Go back. Okay, so I created the plain text data file, check. All right, develop a method in which stores all messages so that you can search the messages first in, first out order for all occurrences of a topic string and then print it. Okay. So from that, I thought about, okay, what would I need to complete this task? I would need some type of way to hold the data, store the messages, and then some type of way to search for the messages for a given topic. So I separated the search function and then the storage function into two separate classes participating in the single responsibility principle. This class over here, storage. This class over here, search. All right, so now let me show you what it looks like in code. All right, so for storage, all right, so this class here, I created a linked hash set. All right, and the reason I created the linked hash set is because it satisfies the requirement of the assignment by using first in, first out order. And how do I know? Because uh, this here, when you want a set that does not allow duplicates and keeps the original insertion order, all right, so that satisfies the first in, first out uh, data structure method. I'm still learning the syntax of how to explain what it is that I'm doing. So anyway, so I did that by using the linked hash set. So the order that messages are added is the order that messages are retrieved in search message class, right? And the search message class has attributes called topic and then matches. So with the search message constructor, whenever you call the search message, it'll take a string and it says that this instance of this search message class will be set to topic. All right. So from there, I created by topic, a by topic method, I mean, or a by topic function if you're used to Python. And I said, print out a screen results matching search. And then for string message and storage, dot save messages. So for every message that is stored here in save messages, what do I want to do? I want to iterate, right? So for string message and storage dot save messages, if message dot contains topic matches plus plus, that means increase matches by one. All right. And then system out print matches and then that message that has the topic that you search for in the method handler. All right. So with the message handler class, which is I guess one of the low level, I'm not sure how to word it, but anyway, so this will probably be like the interface, the thing that brings everything together, right? So I created search message method for the message handler class I'm pointing. So I'm gonna just highlight it. So this is the class I created. And within this class, I created message, a search message method that initializes the search message class by saying search message filter equals new search message search, which is the string that you pass into it. And then I'll say filter dot by topic. And the reason why I say filter dot by topic is because within the search message, I have this method here by topic that does this. All right. So I'll go back here. So filter by topic search. All right. So that's done. So I pause here and then I go back. First, I'm gonna just run it real fast. All right. So, all right. All right. So from top to bottom, the get messages method does this. So it took raw data, the raw data text, it read it line by line, boom, 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 boom. And after it read these messages, it saved it in the storage.saved messages attribute, which I assign here. All right, run it again. All right, so now for the search, mm, so for the search message, all right, you pass in a string and it returns every message that matches the string you search for within that storage.saved messages. So I'll show you what it looks like. So I call the get messages, which prints out all of the messages from the raw data text file. And then I go search messages, searching the saved messages for messages that match the word going. I'll just pause right here and go back to the assignment. All right. Now it says develop a method that searches most recent message last for a given topic in the messages and prints out each message containing that topic. All right, so I did that by creating another storage object within storage called old messages. All right, and from there, I also save the data into guys. So for some reason the video keeps stopping. So I'm gonna kind of just wrap it up and then maybe switch to a different visual format by using a whiteboard explaining some of these principles. So I'm gonna just run and kind of walk you through the logic behind each step. So the first step is get messages. So this get messages function depends on file handler object class that I created and the file handler dot Java file. Same for search message. Search messages depends on the search messages class that I created. Okay. By oldest again is dependent on the search message class, and then hot topics. All right, what's the logic behind this? So this depends on the interest level file that I created. So all of this is to say this, there are different principles and ways to think about programming that kind of makes your code a little more readable. I haven't learned them all, but the tool that I kind of heavily tried to practice and include was the dependency inversion principle and the single responsibility principle. And I'll go into explaining those into a little bit more detail, giving you a visual representation of what that looks like.